Abkhaz is a Northwest Caucasian language spoken mostly by the Abkhaz people. It is the official language of Abkhazia, where around 100,000 people speak it. Furthermore, it is spoken by thousands of members of the Abkhazian diaspora in Turkey, Georgia's autonomous Republic of Adjara, Syria, Jordan and several Western countries. The Russian census of 2010 reported 6,786 speakers of Abkhaz in Russia. Classification: Abkhaz is a Northwest Caucasian language and is therefore related to Adygi. It is especially close to Abkhazia, and they are sometimes considered dialects of the same language, Abkhazia, of which the literary dialects of Abkhaz and Abkhazia are simply two ends of a dialect continuum. Grammatically, the two are very similar. However, the differences in phonology are substantial and are the main reason for many other linguists preferring to keep the two separate. Most linguists believe that Ubykh is the closest relative to the Abkhazia-Euro-Abkhazia dialect continuum. Geographical distribution: Abkhaz is spoken primarily in Abkhazia. Abkhaz is also spoken by members of the large Abkhaz Muhajir diaspora, mainly located in Turkey, with smaller groups living in Syria, Iraq and Jordan. Georgia's autonomous Republic of Adjara. Throughout the former USSR and through more recent emigration in Western countries such as Germany, the Netherlands and the United States. However, the exact number of Abkhaz speakers in these countries remains unknown due to a lack of official records. Dialects: Abkhaz is generally viewed as having three major dialects: Azhir, spoken in the Caucasus, and named after the historical area of Azhir, sometimes referred to as Abzhui, the Russified form of the name. Bzyb or Bzyp, spoken in the Caucasus and in Turkey, and named after the Bzyb area. Sads, nowadays spoken only in Turkey, formerly also spoken between the rivers Bzyp and Kosta. The literary Abkhaz language is based on the Azhir dialect. Phonology: Abkhaz has a very large number of consonants, with three-way voiced ejective and palatalized plain distinctions. By contrast, the language has only two phonemically distinct vowels Euro, which, however, have several allophones depending on the palatal and/or labial quality of adjacent consonants. Phonemes in green are found in the Bzyp and Sads dialects of Abkhaz, but not in Azhir. Phonemes in blue are unique to the Bzyp dialect. Grammar: Abkhaz is typologically classified as an agglutinative language. Like all other Northwest Caucasian languages, Abkhaz has an extremely complex verbal system coupled with a very simple noun system. However, Abkhaz distinguishes just two cases, the nominative and the adverbial. Writing system: Abkhaz has had its own adaptation of the Cyrillic script since 1862. The first alphabet was a 37-character Cyrillic alphabet invented by Baron Peter von Uslar. In 1909 a 55-letter Cyrillic alphabet was used. A 75-letter Latin script devised by a Russian-Georgian linguist Nikolai Mar that lasted from 1926 to 1928. The Georgian script was imposed in 1938, but after the death of Stalin, an Abkhaz desire to remain separate from Georgians led to the reintroduction of the current Cyrillic alphabet in 1954, designed in 1892 by Dmitry Gulyayev together with Konstantin Makavariani and modified in 1909 by Alexei Chochua. History: the earliest extant written records of the Abkhaz language are in the Arabic script, recorded by the Turkish traveller Avliya Elbay in the 17th century. Abkhaz has been used as a literary language for only about 100 years. Status: both Georgian and Abkhaz law enshrines an official status of the Abkhaz language in Abkhazia. The 1992 law of Georgia, reiterated in the 1995 constitution, grants Abkhaz the status of second official language in the territory of Abkhazia, along with Georgian. In November 2007, the de facto authorities of Abkhazia adopted a new law on the state language of the Republic of Abkhazia that mandates Abkhaz as the language of official communication. According to the law, all meetings held by the President, Parliament, and government must be conducted in Abkhaz from 2010, and all state officials will be obliged to use Abkhaz as their language of everyday business from 2015. Some, however, have considered the implementation of this law unrealistic, and concerns have been made that it will drive people away from Abkhazia and hurt the independent press due to a significant share of non-Abkhaz speakers among ethnic minorities as well as Abkhaz themselves, and a shortage of teachers of Abkhaz. The law is an attempt to amend a situation where up to a third of the ethnic Abkhaz population are no longer capable of speaking their ethnic language, and even more are unable to read or write it. Instead, Russian is the language most commonly used in public life at present. Sample text: th degree n euro th plus or minus th degree th 1/2 th degree th degree th degree th degree n florin th degree o e th n th 3/4 n florin th n n th degree o unregistered trademark th o 1/2 n th n florin th degree th micron th cube no th 1/2 th micron th degree n unflorin th micron th micron th oith degree n euro th 3/4 n florin THQ euro o THN euro n th 1/4 th 3/4 n florin th degree n n anu d th degree th degree th 1/4 n un th degree n euro th degree degree n euro th degree th cube no th degree th micron n noeth micron th degree th micron n noeth micron th n euro th micron th o rho th micron th anoith degree th degree n euro th 3/4 n florin th. Transliteration: Darbanzalak oanydshoup idaquithni. IRZEGJs and Lapatai ear group. Earthiramu Parshiyeni Alamisai, Dara Darajjasjasj Rife Shazabzarup. Translation: All human beings are born free and equal in dignity and rights. They are endowed with reason and conscience and should act towards one another in a spirit of brotherhood. Notes. References. Bibliography: Shirikba, V.A. A Dictionary of Common Abkhaz. Leiden. Shirikba, V.A. Abkhaz. A Euro Languages of the World Materials 119. Munchen, Linkom Europa. Hewitt, B. George Abkhaz, A Comprehensive Self-Tutor Munchen, Linkom Europa ISBN 978-3-89586-670-8, Hewitt, B. George Abkhaz, A Descriptive Grammar. Amsterdam, North Holland. Hewitt, B. George Abkhaz. In John Grepin, The Indigenous Languages of the Caucasus Volume 2. Caravan Books, New York 39-88. Vo, Bert and Zion Psyapa the Quizhi Dialect of Abkhaz. Harvard Working Papers in Linguistics 6, Suzy Mukano, Bert Vo, and Steve Peter, eds. Cambridge, Massachusetts, Harvard University Linguistics Department. External links: Introduction, Basic Phrases in Grammar and Texts, Abkhaz Alphabet and Pronunciation, Abkhaz Entry in Language Server, Abkhaz at Language Museum, Example of Abkhaz Language, The Universal Declaration of Human Rights in Abkhaz, Abkhaz Russian Online Dictionary, Ancient ADD Abkhazia Euro-Abaza Uwik Alphabet, Abkhaz Basic Lexicon at the Global Lexicon Statistical Database, Abkhaz Text Corpus.